Hey everybody, today I want to talk about the Beatles album Help, released in 1965. This happens to be a British pressing of the album Help, but what I want to talk about today specifically is this German pressing of Help, which has just been listed on my website, needlemeetsvinyl.com, and this is so special. This is the best version of Help you will ever hear. This copy completely blew me away, changed all my opinions about the album Help. I've always really liked the Help album, but hearing this German pressing of the album changed my opinion of Help completely, because Help is now an album that I rank up there with Rubber Soul and Revolver. In fact, Help to me now, after hearing this pressing, it's like the little cousin of Rubber Soul and Revolver. And the big reason that this pressing is just so much better than all the other pressings that I've ever heard, and I will show you some of the other pressings that I have here, the big reason is because this has mega bass, so much bass, and the bass on Help is so fantastic. Paul McCartney is just obviously one of the best rock bass players of all time, and his work with the Beatles has been just praised over and over and over again, as it should, but I don't think it starts getting praise until about the Rubber Soul album and onward. But really, on the Help album, on this pressing, you can hear his bass for the first time, and he's doing some amazing things, and it's just so great. And the other really amazing thing about this pressing is the stereo image is so wide. This is the widest stereo image I've ever heard on any record. And it's just, once you put this on your turntable, it seriously blows your mind. I know people say that phrase all the time, blows your mind. This one actually 100% guaranteed will blow your mind. It's so good. Let me show you how the record looks. It's on the Apple label. And it is, like I said, a German pressing, and it's stereo. And there is the record, and it's in super nice shape, near mint shape. There's side 2. And it's just a game changer. It is absolutely a game changer. And while I'm talking about it, make sure to head to the website right now, needlemeetsvinyl.com, because this one is going to go very quickly. I have a lot of Beatle fans out there that every time I post a Beatle record, they snatch them up right away, which is so cool. So if you're interested in this album, go check it out right now. I cannot emphasize that enough, because it's just that good. So cool. And also, as you can see here, it's got a different cover than the normal cover we're all used to. It's got some words in German there as the motorcycle goes whizzing by. So it's got a different cover, but all the songs on here are exactly the same as the British Help, and they sound fantastic. You're going to hear stuff on here that you have never heard before. It's that good. But I also, since we're talking about Help, I wanted to tell you about some of these other pressings that I had to work with in deciding eventually that this was the best Help. So let me show you some of these. First off, let me show you this other copy that I have of a German pressing of Help. And this is actually my copy, and this also sounds amazing. In fact, it sounds just as good as the copy that I have on the website, and which I'm very happy about. So I'm happy to have this in my collection. Then, this is a British pressing of Help, and it's a little bit of a later pressing, I believe. Yeah, I think it's like a late 60s pressing. Maybe, I don't know the exact date. This might be like a 1969 pressing, but I could be very wrong. Either way, it's on this label, and this one sounds very good as well. This is a stereo pressing, even though the cover does not say stereo on it, but this is a stereo pressing, and it sounds very good. It's got the kind of odd thing about this is it has the flip the like fold over flaps there on the back, which normally the mono albums have, but this is a stereo copy, and this sounds very good. But I should say before I put this away, these British pressings of Help, while they sound good, they just don't have that bass clarity that the German pressings have, that I just showed you, the two German pressings. They completely lack bass, in my opinion. And the stereo image is not very wide. It's in stereo, but it's pretty kind of, it doesn't have that sonic magic that the German pressing has. It's hard to explain, but once you hear the German pressing, you'll know exactly what I mean. Then, this is a stereo pressing from the late 70s. This is from the Blue Box that was released, I think, in 1978. And this one sounds good as well. It sounds almost identical to this 1960s British stereo pressing of the Help album. But again, lacking bass and just lacking that overall clarity that you get from the German pressings. And then, of course, this is a 2014 mono remaster that was released in 2014, as I just said. And this sounds very good as well. And the mono mix of Help is quite different from the stereo mix, but I definitely prefer the stereo mix of Help. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are probably thinking to yourself, aren't there a bunch of different stereo mixes of the Help album? Yes, there are. So there's a 1965 stereo mix of Help, which I believe is the mix that's on this German pressing of the Help album. And that mix is quite different from the stereo mix that we've all come to know, which is the mix that George Martin made when they released the CDs of the Beatles albums initially in like the late 80s. I think it was 87. George Martin went and remixed the Help albums and the Rubber Soul album. So there's a 1965 stereo mix of Help, and then there's a 1987 stereo mix of Help. So those are the two different mixes, and I actually prefer the 1965 mix personally. I think it's quite a bit better than the 87 George Martin mix, but that mix is also very good. But in addition to those two, there's also the mono mix, which is right here. And while I think it's cool to own the mono mix, I definitely prefer the stereo mix over the mono mix when it comes to the Help album. And then this is the US release of the Help soundtrack. And as you can tell, the cover is quite a bit different, and it's got a gatefold, which is very cool. And this is a mono pressing on the Capitol Rainbow label. And as I'm sure a lot of you know, I'm not that fond as far as sound goes of the Capitol Beatle albums. They don't sound that great to me. And as far as the Help album goes, this is it only has the songs from the film on here. It doesn't have any of the songs from side 2 of the British release. So this is, in my opinion, far, far, far inferior to the actual UK release of Help. But I thought I'd just bust it out just to show you that it's here. So back to, as that one falls over, back to this German pressing of Help, which is currently on needlemeetsvinyl.com. It is just the best version of Help you will ever hear. So go to the website, read all about it, check it out, pick it up if you're looking for just the best sounding version of Help you'll ever hear, because here it is. So that's it for now, and we'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.